A very good evening to all of you. Welcome to Food Infotech. And today we have Rahul Dhinakaran from Big TATA BigBasket. He's the head of industrial automation, and we'll be asking him a few questions. So, welcome, Rahul. And first off, we would like to start by asking you to tell us something more about yourself and education background.
Yeah, hi, I'm Rahul Dhinakaran. I'm right now the head of industrial automation in BigBasket. Um, I started my career 20 years ago. I'm a mechanical engineer by education. I started off as a trainee motorsports engineer in motorsports in Coimbatore. Then I started my own machine design and building company, where I built a lot of machines, mechanisms, and all that for a number of companies. Initially, I started with companies in Australia and England, where they would advertise in the web about some entrepreneurs would advertise their request. They would have ideas. They didn't know how to go about making a mechanism or a machine or something. So they would need somebody who fabrication knowledge, with machine building knowledge, with machine design knowledge, so they can share their ideas and get whatever they want built. So that is how I started, and I did a lot of machines and mechanisms for companies in Australia, in US, in England, in Ireland, a lot of weird places, because they used to advertise in the net, and I used to bid and take orders like that. Then I started building complete automation systems, assembly line manufacturing automation for companies in Madurai. I am from Madurai, basically. I did my
Okay.
education there. I started my company there, and I got in touch with a lot of manufacturing companies. There were lots of automotive companies, automotive accessory companies, tire manufacturers. A lot of manufacturing happens around that area. So I got in touch with them, and I started building automation systems for those companies, assembly line automation, like pick and place robots. Being a mechanical engineer, I designed machines myself, and because I had a passion for machine design, automotive design, and all that, I could design on my own. So I designed machines myself and got it built with vendors in and around Madurai. I had uh, vendors who could help me with the electronics, with the software, and all that. Mechanical and the machine logic was completely mine. The vendors supplied their electronics to me. So this went on for some time, around 2009, 2010. Till that time, I was completely conceptualizing, designing, building, and commissioning these machines. So it was just a two-man team, two, three people team. I had two people with me who could help me assemble machines and all that. So everything we did ourselves: conceptualizing, designing, building a machine, and putting it in the assembly line and testing it, and then approaching the teams for companies for payment and all that. So that is a long payment cycle. So coming from a middle class background, it was tough to run a family in that payment cycle.
Correct.
So what I did was I stopped building machines. I left building machines to the customers themselves. I started working as a design consultant. I used to conceptualize, design, and then I used to give it to the respective teams. They had their own fabrication workshops and all that. So they used to build machines, and payment cycles were shortened, and I could run a family in that. So after
Definitely.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, after that I moved to Muscat, in Oman, where in the Middle East I worked for a couple of years. That was a complete shift for me. Till then, I was into building industrial machines, mechanisms, and everything focused on the manufacturing industry.
Right.
Once I moved to Muscat, that was a complete consumer product. It had nothing to do with the industry. So everything had to be relearned. I had to unlearn everything, and I had to relearn everything. I had to unlearn how to design a machine without using heavy industrial products, how to make it more consumer friendly. All that happened in Muscat. It took me 2 years. We were into building. In the Middle East, they have a culture of going camping in the desert. So at that time, it was very hot in the desert, obviously. So they had awnings on top of their heads so that the sun wouldn't affect the people and they can party underneath and all that. The awnings were put manually. Even now in India, also you can see that there are lots of tea shops which have awnings in front of them where you can sit and have a cup of tea or something. Over there, they had it in their SUVs, their cars. They had those awnings, and they used to unroll these awnings and pitch it in the front and sit underneath and have a party. So
Right.
for a lot of people, it was quite difficult. It's not easy in the desert wind and the sand to do all this assembly procedure. It's basically like pitching a tent. It's not that easy. So what they wanted was they wanted somebody to make an automatic awning where you just press a button and the awning would just come in above them. So this was something I did there. It wasn't easy over there. Not only the design process, which was anyway an unlearning and learning process. There was a lot of challenges with regarding to raw material availability. We take a lot of things granted in India. We assume that the manufacturing which happens here, the fabrication which happens here, everything is easy in my industry. I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm telling you. It's very easy. But over there in an environment which is not yet ready for manufacturing, uh, it's very difficult. You can't get parts available. It'll take a lot of time. Everything has to be imported from China. China has a big presence there, so you have to order it via Alibaba or whatever websites are there. You have to order it. You have to wait for that. It travels all the way from China to Muscat, and then you find if it is faulty, you have to order it again. In India, if I go to a shop, if I want a motor was very important sub-assembly in that design I did. Basic motor. We don't even think that as a problem when we are designing machines in India. So I go to a shop in India, I buy it, I come back. If it's faulty, I give it back. He gives me a replacement. Exactly 3-4 hours, the transaction is done in India. In Muscat and Oman, it took me a month for this process to happen. So I had to think about the next product also because then the shipment would again take another month. So it wasn't easy. It was a complete new experience for me compared to
Experience.
Madurai. And I used to think of Madurai being a tier 2 and tier 3 city. The parts availability were not much when compared to a Chennai or a Bangalore or anything. But Muscat was something else. Parts availability, working with China, getting it over there. I mean, a
Yes.
process which should have taken 3-4 months took me a year and a half, 2 years.
Correct.
So yeah, so I was the only guy there. I was the only machine design guy there. I had a couple of fabricators over there who were from
Right.
Bangladesh who were helping me out. So with the fabrication and all that stuff. The founder of that company was very kind person. He had a lot of engineering knowledge. I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from the people who have founded their companies and who I work with. So
Yes.
coming from a tier 2 tier 3 city, these are the people we look up to for global experience exposure. Unlike now you have everything in the YouTube and you have a lot of
You.
data available. You still need to learn
Correct.
it, but a lot of data is still there. For us it
Yes.
was not that easy. For us, when I started in Coimbatore, I worked with the student of GD Naidu, he was a genius in this part of the world.
Definitely.
He's built his first car when Maruti was still taking products from Suzuki and assembly. He built his own car.
Right.
All that. So these are the people I learned from. Then the person I learned from in Muscat, he was an engineer from Europe. So he was not a usual Muscat or Omani person. So he learned everything, and then the way he taught me about moving from industrial engineering to consumer engineering, that was a big shift for me. I learned a lot from him. And then it took me two prototypes. Usually in machine design, a lot of people don't know that when they ask me to build or ask anybody to build anything, the first prototype doesn't come out right. Second prototype is usually a better product, much better product. So you have to accept that the first prototype is going to be won't meet the mark. Okay, to put it politely.
Okay.
Uh,
Sure.
yeah, the second product is what will meet the mark. That's what happened. The first product, I still was stuck in my industrial engineering learning and all that. I used heavy parts. It was difficult to lift and all that. Second prototype was much lighter, much faster, and it had a lot of. I did a lot of testing in that, and it took some time, but we proved that the system works in the desert, and there was a lot of sand testing done. It
Sure.
was a fantastic experience. So after 2 years, my contract ran out over there, a year and half or something like that, a year and 8 months or two
Yeah.
years. My contract ran out, and then I moved back to India. Before moving itself, I joined a company in Madras, Chennai, which
Okay.
was into making high speed food vending machines, warm food vending machines, where it was a XY robotic system. It was similar to pick and place systems I had built, but much faster and much more expensive. So it you take a food packet, and then it'll automatically you order what you want in an app. It'll take the food packet, it'll put it in a microwave oven, it'll heat it, and then it'll serve it to you.
That's
So
wonderful. Yeah.
yeah, it was a fantastic machine, I think.
Yes, totally.
Uh, yeah, it was a robotic warm food vending machine, very expensive and very much
Okay.
far ahead of its time. So
Absolutely.
yeah, even now there are no machines like that. It was basically a collection of restaurants in a very small footprint, where all the food was stacked from various famous restaurants in that particular zone. And
Mm-hmm.
the consumer comes, and let's say you're in an IT park or something, and you don't have to go out to eat a meal from. I mean, I don't know what is famous in your area, Adayar Anand Bhavan or something like that, where South Indian or North Indian or something. You have all the famous brands over there. Those brands come and stack their food, and you just order in an app, and it takes it, heats it, and gives it to you. So
Really
that was the first prototype
future.
they
Yeah,
built. Yeah,
totally.
and there were two more prototypes which we were building. They wanted it built in China, so I moved to China there for a year or something like that, and uh, we got it built in two to three cities. That was again a great experience, because moving from Muscat to an atmosphere which doesn't have any manufacturing capability in Oman, to a country which is the leading manufacturer in the world of everything. So
Absolutely.
again, the experience of machine design in China with their engineers was
Mm-hmm.
eye-opening, where I learned a lot of machine design techniques. I learned that we are still, even though we are better than countries like Muscat and India, better than countries like Oman and other countries, we still have a lot of catching up to do when we talk about China.
China.
The way their engineers work, it's not a case of talent, not to be arrogant, but we are still equally talented as those guys, the engineers over here. But the parts availability for them, the technology availability for them is something
Yeah,
different.
yeah, totally.
I could never design what they designed, not because of talent. It was because of the technology available with them.
Availability.
Technology
Yeah.
available to them, the portfolio available to them. They could pick anything: toy motors, toy gears, toy tires, whatever they want. I can't get anything like that over here. I would have to
Hmm.
somehow get it from China and build stuff over here. That's very difficult. So I learned a lot from working with those engineers in China. We built two machines. We built um, noodles machines, which would give out hot noodles with instant
Okay,
noodles,
that's
with
good.
2 minutes
Yeah.
noodles, 3 minute noodles, warm
Hmm.
food. So this was all 6 years ago. So yes, it was a fantastic experience to work in China over there. Then this startup didn't. It was a startup. Till then, I was into startups only. My
Hmm.
own startups, Chinese startups in
Yeah.
Muscat, startups in Madras, and then I moved to Big Basket in 2019. I think this is my sixth year in Big Basket. So Big
Yeah.
Basket.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
So
Go ahead.
coming to the next question, like you shared such a varied experience with us, starting from Madurai to Muscat and to China, and then back to India with Big Basket. So Big Basket is currently one of the leading food platforms in India. So we want to know, why did you join Big Basket, and what are you doing exactly here?
Yeah. So I joined Big Basket, as I told you, 2019. In 6 years ago, I joined. Nearly 6 years ago. Big Basket has a separate division, BB Instant. BB Instant is a vending machine operation. So the founder of BB Instant was acquired again 6 years ago by Big Basket. BB Instant was a startup, a separate startup. The founder was an he's again, as I told you, I learned a lot from founders, and this person was again instrumental in me learning how to scale technologies. His name is Neeraj Ray. So he hired me. He Because he is a founder and he has a sense of the bigger picture of what would be required for this machine going forward. He built that machine. He's a completely IT professional. He is a software professional. He wanted somebody with a mechanical or a machine design background to understand this machine and get it built in such a way that where the consumers or the people who are using it don't face any difficulties, or it was still a product which would how should I say, which would be there for a long time and appeal a
Yeah.
lot. So
Okay.
at the same time, he didn't need anybody with how should I say, he didn't need anybody who had the industrial engineering experience. He had to
Okay.
have somebody with consumer product engineering experience. That was very important because
Right.
this machine is a complete. It's similar to your home refrigerator. That is how we
Okay.
designed it. It was designed keeping in mind that the consumer should be able to take a product from a vending machine. Now, traditional vending machines, you press a button, you wait for a coil to rotate, something falls down, you pick it up, and then you that's how you take a product from a vending machine. This machine we designed keeping in mind that it should be easy to take the product from the machine. It should be, the experience should be similar to your home refrigerator. You open a fridge and you
Okay.
take a snack from inside.
Mm-hmm.
That's how easy it should be. So he had that vision for this product. He keeps insisting on simplicity and scaling. How to scale? We are right now at more than 3,000 machines. This scale is at. So he had that vision to scale that machines to that, the product to that level. That is how you scale a product. The keeping the simplicity in mind, keeping the consumer experience in mind, and all. So when he hired me, he had something in mind with regard to the machines. So he hired me in 2019, and I started off as a machine designer in Big Basket. I was the head of machine design in BB Instant alone. For the
Okay.
first, yeah. So for the first 2 years, I was head of machine design in BB Instant. Then because we are doing system integration of our machines in Bangalore. It's a completely designed and made in India product. So that's very special. It's very special for hardware startups to scale up in India because of our inherent difficulties and culture and all that. But again, this was one of the success stories of. I would like to think it is one of the success stories of
Yes.
hardware startups being scaled. First, it was acquired by Big Basket, then Big Basket got acquired by Tata. So this machine, it was a bit rough on the edges to start with. So the first prototypes were like that. So we worked continuously on our machines till even now we are working on it. So it's a work in progress
Correct.
compared to other products. Yes, for the first 2 years I was head of machine design there. Then I started heading the manufacturing also. I was head of manufacturing and machine design. It was all in
Okay.
BB Instant the first 4 years. Now, for the past 1 year, the role has become wider, where I use whatever knowledge I have gained over the years and my team's knowledge, and we approach problems all over Big Basket, where we provide solutions to various automation systems, various divisions like electric vehicles and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's where we are.
That's wonderful to hear from you. So, tell us, what are the biggest challenges you faced while designing the BB Instant vending machines from scratch, and how did you overcome them?
Um, See, challenges, as I told you, scaling a product, designing something for scale in India in itself is a challenge. Okay. Design of the machine as a whole and scale and providing solutions in such a way. Let's say you put first 100 machines we put on the field, or any product you put on the field. It will have a lot of issues. The customers will face issues, and then there'll be engineers who are working on it in the field, washing machine or whatever. You put it in the field, a new product, consumer buys it. There are issues. Field engineer goes and fixes it. We take the feedback from the field engineer. There are two types of solutions you have to give. That is where the challenge is actually. The solution we have to give should suit the field engineer who goes for service to the consumer's place, where he manages to replace a part, remove it, or whatever he does, or troubleshoot the machine. The solution should suit him, and then again it should suit the new lot of machines which are coming in from the manufacturing side, where we provide. There are two types of solution, as I told you. This solution has nothing to do with the other solution, the manufacturing solution. We ensure that the next lot of machines which are manufactured, it can be a much more elaborate solution. The solution which we put in the field for the field engineer to work on should suit that particular environment. You cannot go into a corporate office and start banging with hammers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that is a complete different solution we have to give compared to a manufacturing. So that is the challenge. Every problem which comes with any machine, here we have to put two types of solutions. That is the biggest challenge we are having.
Okay. So, we would like to ask you, like, how do you stay updated with the latest trends and technologies in machine design and automation?
That is these days, that is not a big challenge. See, what I faced earlier 20 years ago or 24 years ago, when I started the engineering and all that stuff, and I had a passion for automobiles, I had to travel 3-4 kilometers in a cycle to get
Yeah.
Autocar India or Overdrive or any magazines which were available. Not
Yes.
There was no online magazine at that time. It was a book. So 40-50 rupees I had to pay, take the magazine home, go there, wait, read whatever was there, then wait for the next month to go back again,
Yeah.
get that child. There wasn't even a phone with the shopkeeper to call him and tell him I'm coming or something
No.
like that. So that was a big challenge. These days, getting updated is, and especially when you have a platform like LinkedIn and all that, where everything is available at
Available.
the
Yeah.
click of a button. It's pretty straightforward these days. And
That's
I
very
yeah,
true.
and because I work in an environment like BigBasket, which is where we absorb a lot of the latest trends and technologies.
Correct.
Unlike traditional manufacturing setup, which takes a lot of time to absorb all these technologies, in BigBasket it's much faster. We can absorb. We have a great set of higher management people
I'm
who
sure. Yeah.
don't stop with, who don't prevent us from approaching these technologies, trying it out. I can try out anything in my BB instant machine, latest trend, just to see if it works or if it doesn't work. Mostly it will work. We'll get it in the field. We'll roll it out pretty fast. So the speed with which we adopt newer technologies is much faster in BigBasket and BB Instant.
Definitely. Definitely. Especially with the Tata backing it. So I'm sure.
Even before the
And
Tata backing,
yeah.
we were very quick in that. With the Tata
Oh,
backing, as you said, yes, we were. BB Instant as a hardware setup, compared to my experience in traditional manufacturing setups, is it's a much quicker company. That's how the founders built this company. You could
okay.
adapt. We have IoT systems. We have a lot of hardware which is again not being used regularly. These are all. I mean, any the manufacturers, the suppliers for us, any new product they develop, they actually send it to us. We put it in the field and
Okay.
we test it, and we give them feedback. So it is much faster than their regular customers, their traditional manufacturing companies. This hardware setup is something different. Traditional manufacturing can learn a lot of these techniques and adopt.
I'm sure many of the apps may have learned from Big Basket on how to, like, with BB Instant and all that. Many are actually coming into this in the fray as well. So, tell us about operational efficiency. So, Rahul, how do you implement that at Big Basket, and what are the key automation technologies that you've implemented there?
See, as I told you, for the first 4 years, I was involved only in BB Instant. For the past 1.5 years, I've moved into mainstream Big Basket, which encompasses a wide range of divisions. One of the most exciting divisions is Fresho Smart Stores, Fresho offline stores. Everybody knows Big Basket as an online
Yes,
e-grocery provider,
yes,
but Fresho stores are offline stores. And if you go, anybody who walks into a Fresho store in Bangalore, they can see smart shopping carts where you don't have to wait in queue for billing. You put products on the cart, it generates a bill at the end of your shopping experience, and it you generates a bill, you pay it, and you can leave. These are this is one of the coolest things I've built in Big Basket. The software,
okay,
obviously, I didn't build. I'm not a software person. The hardware of that system with with the software team which we built was one of the most exciting things in Big Basket when we built it. It's still there. Anybody who's visiting Fresho stores can see that product, can experience that product. It's not commonly available, that commonly available in India, and the fact that we built it from scratch in Bangalore and in India is something we are very proud of. Big Basket,
That's
yes.
wonderful. So, you've obviously had a lot of experience in building machines in different industries. So, how has that contributed to machine building and designing at Big Basket Instant?
See, when Big Basket is the first corporate I've worked in. Okay. Um, so the first 15 years of my career, I was working in startups. I was designing and building machines for startups. Designing and building machines, doing anything in startups for that matter, is very challenging. Uh, the resources are not available. The dependency is very high. The responsibility is incredible. And The industries which I catered for, they were challenging in themselves, where you had to place an automation system in the middle of a tire tube manufacturing assembly line, where the tubes were coming out of a hot rubber feeder extruder, and they used to flow in the assembly line. You have to plate something on top of that. So the engineering which we did, it can't be how should I say, half-hearted. You cannot go in with half-baked knowledge and half-baked engineering and all that. You have to be very thorough,
Yeah,
very sure that that system works over there, or you don't put it over there. And these are not small companies; these are huge manufacturing plants with a lot of Japanese technology available to them, American technology available to them. That they are
correct.
asking a small guy like me in itself is a matter of pride. And that I got a machine over there which works over there is again a matter of pride. So the challenges in engineering in those industries, in tire tube manufacturing, tire manufacturing, or tractor manufacturing, any automotive manufacturing, this was the biggest learning for me. I mean, the atmosphere over there, the environment over there, the way you design systems, the way you work with people to ensure that your system works over there. It is not only machine design skills when you are a machine designer and you're supplying machines to designing and building machines from scratch. It's people skills also. So you have to learn to work with people and ensure that your system works over there. You can't have a fight with a assembly line worker and expect him to use your machine
Yeah,
as you have designed it. You should actually
totally.
work with him and design a machine which he wants to use, which will make his
Correct.
life easier, which will make him less tired when he goes back to his family. So all this put together and my experience with consumer products, I think that is the key over here. If you're only an industrial machine designer, the techniques we use, the technologies we use is completely different to a consumer product designer. So mixed together, I had the experience to face the challenges which BB Instant offered me. BB Instant, every day in the initial stages, we used to face challenges with regarding the technologies we use and a lot of hardware and all that. So at that time, I could provide solutions much faster because of my experience. And I have a great team. So the team with
Yeah,
me has worked with me for even in my previous company. So
yeah,
7 8 years, my team has worked with me. So whatever challenge we faced in China, we faced in India, it was much greater than what we face over here because we have a lot of comfort over here. We are not in a startup; we are in a much bigger entity. So that
yes.
in itself brings a lot of comfort to my team, and
Comfort.
my team
Yes.
is very. We are very close to each other. We are more friends than colleagues. So 3 4 people with this unique skill set of machine design, machine building. This gives me a big advantage in BB Instant for solving problems and for
Sure.
facing challenges.
Thank you for sharing about that. And also, we'd like to know about any particularly challenging situation that you faced while designing machines at BB Instant and BB.
Challenging situation particular, I think the whole machine itself, see people think when they think of a vending machine, they don't think of the BB Instant kind of machine. They think of a traditional 70 80 year old design with coils and all that stuff. This is a that we have 3000 of these machines in the field, that we scaled these machines. The solutions we provide are scalable. That is just a big thing for us, for me at least, because I worked in startups, as I told you
Yeah.
repeatedly, for 15 years. Building a prototype, scaling it, I know the difficulty of it. And I know the pangs a founder goes through when he has to scale a product. That we prototype something, design something, got it manufactured, got it scaled, and right now it's working with all the modern technologies in that system with IoT connectivity, all kinds of sensors over there. It's fantastic. That small package, that machine with a very small footprint, 2 by 2 by 2, I say 2 feet wide and 2 feet deep. It has thermal engineering. It has load analysis we have done on that. We have it has IoT connectivity, hardcore, even the fasteners, this smallest component in that system, that was engineered to suit that machine. Uh, Everything, even right, as I told you, right down to the smallest washer and fastener was designed to suit that particular machine. So it's a very, very
Correct.
interesting experience and a great product as well, because of the team, not only because of the team. Yeah.
Sure, we understand. So now coming to 2024, so what are the advancements in machine design and automation that is happening right now that you are very excited about, and what you see impacting the future of industries the most?
Mm, yeah, obviously it's AI. Yeah, everybody has AI on their at the tip of their tongue. So anything
Totally. Yeah.
you are doing right now, you have to think how will AI affect your machine design. Will it be enough? Let's say you want to build a frame or something. You just type in that whether how to build a frame in this dimension to take this load. It will give you all the solutions. And people in the US are working on technologies which the traditional CAD, computer aided design technologies, they are coupling them with AI, where you can enter some set of data and it will give you a finished drawing. If you can couple that with a CNC machine or a automatic fabrication machine, it will probably give you an output as a frame. So these are things we have to keep in mind, how to work with the technology rather than be push it off and think that it won't affect you.
Definitely, we agree with you on that. And coming to our last question for today's interview, I'd like to ask you now, for any young engineer who aspires to work in the field of machine design and automation, what advice would you give that person?
Yeah, so I work with a lot of fresh engineers, and I spoke to in a couple of universities or colleges about machine design and how to approach hardware engineering. Uh, the It's a habit to be enamored by something new. So we are so enamored by AI, and we are so enamored by IoT connectivity and all that kind of stuff. What happens is we lose touch with the basics. Basics of mechanical engineering are still valid, any engineering, but because I come from that field, I'm telling you, basics of mechanical engineering are very important for machine designers. You have to have an understanding of the basics to design and put in place a mechanism out in the field and say and commit that it will work. IoT connectivity and AI, these come later. This is still an add-on.
Hmm.
Connectivity still, IoT connectivity still provides data from a mechanical system to the cloud, which means that the mechanical system has to work perfectly, has to be designed well. So focus on your basics and start from the ground level. Don't If you want to be a really good machine designer, work in startups, work in environments where there is encouragement for machine designers to fail. Not only they shouldn't
Right.
celebrate success. I mean, 40 machines of my designs work, which means I have failed 30 times over there. I know that. So that is the environment you want to work in. You want to somehow push your machine design limits and learn from. That is more important. Learn from machine designers who have been there, who have designed machines, who have built systems, whose machines are. And I learned a lot from my founders, and there were few people in between also, designers and fabricators, who taught me a lot. These were all
Yes.
practical people who built systems, who have built and whose machines are working in the field. So you have to work with such
Definitely.
people. Consider them as your group. Work with them.
Correct.
Ensure you respect that field. You be honest to that field. Cutting corners won't
Absolutely.
work in machine design. It'll bite you back. The machine design will bite you back anytime. So
Yeah.
don't cut corners. Work from the ground level. The smallest workshops, the smallest fabrication companies. These are the places where you will have a lot of knowledge. So work from there. And then as
Yeah.
you go on, you learn and move into corporates.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this wonderful advice, and also thank you for consenting to the interview readily. And we would be putting up the interview on our channel for all our viewers and listeners to learn so much from you. So thank you, Rahul, and thank you again, and hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Thanks for it.